Very good, very good, very good. Perfect. We've done a lot of things tonight. We've done a lot of things tonight. No, I mean today. So much going on. I mean, the news, the updates.
The Democrat Zoran Mamdani has been elected as mayor of New York City. The 34-year-old and his campaign has come to symbolize the more youthful and progressive wing of the Democratic Party. Joining me to talk about this race is Sagar Magani. Sagar, so again,
I gotta find the feed for Mandani. I gotta find so many feeds, so many feeds. I can already tell YouTube's not telling my audience that I'm live. Crazy stuff. Let's find it. Let's find it. Is he gonna go live? Maybe not. There you go. Yep. Everybody's happy right there. Look at that. I'm watching Fox and they're losing it. They're absolutely losing it right now. Be right back. I gotta find order food, so I gotta be back. Let's chill for a bit, fam. Why not? Yes. Let's see. And the White House, they're gonna lose it. They are gonna lose it. What are your thoughts on this, fam? Yeah, I got a haircut. I do. I do have a new haircut. Why not, right? It was time. It was much time, you know? Let's go somewhere where I can get an audio. This one.
Mayor to make this city work.
And the flip of that, as what you're saying, is also important. He's got to have to figure out how to deal with them.
Well, yes, he will, because I believe he wants to get things done. And I believe the people that voted for him don't believe they were overestimating his ability to do that. And now I think it serves the rest of the city to get on board and try to make sure he's a success. Because if he's not, it affects all of
We got a
us.
socialist now.
1 year ago,
as a mayor of the biggest city in the whole U.S.
thing that said who were the people who would get the most amount of votes, and Mamdani said he was 1%, and there was someone else he doesn't remember that was also 1%.
That's some panda.
He doesn't know who that person was. He just crept up over the last year.
I'm so
and has
hungry.
Done something that is maybe unheard of.
Well,
someone at this age to be able to do this.
He said some things that voters wanted to hear, particularly young voters. And now I think part of his task is to figure out how to get those young voters to stick with him, to work with him. And I think Mr. Walden, on just a few minutes ago,
welcome everybody. How's it going?
It's going to take a coalition.
Just chilling right now, you know, relaxing.
Zoran Mamdani with, what is that?
80%.
I got Fox. I got the chart. I got this.
In 51% for Mamdani and 41% with Cuomo. We don't know what Sliwa has,
What do you think about this, guys?
It's approximately about 8%.
I already see
that would pretty
some
much
comments
do that.
right there. Let me pull it up.
You know, we're going to talk about
Zoran
this.
will be a
I do think
disaster.
that,
Look at that.
I know a lot of
Dangerous
people
Dave in the
would laugh
house.
at me about what I said
Coming
about
in
Cuomo,
strong.
but I think it's time for the city then. Can it come together? And that's really the bottom line here. I think that our guests who are going to come on the stage any second here are going to say the exact same things, because that's what we have to do. This is for the instruction of the world, we do things that the rest of the world can't do. That's why they have more wars. That's why they battle each other. We trend not to do that. The goal is not to do that. And I think if we don't start applying some of this, we're going to be even more trouble. That's my opinion. And that's not what you pay me for, but that's what I'm saying right now, because we have a very interesting battle with Mr. Trump right now, because he has already said, I'm going to be ticked off if he becomes mayor. We have our guests with us right now back again. You guys want to talk about it again?
Yeah, James
tomorrow,
Vaca, former New York City
I'm so
councilman,
ready.
now Queens College professor.
No, right now, let's
and
go
also
ahead.
Jennifer
Let's go
Jones
to
Austin,
Truth Social.
Federation of
Truth
Protestant
Social.
Welfare Agency.
Fly.
She is the CEO.
Let's go.
It appears Zoran Mamdani
Oh,
has been
come on,
declared the winner
dude.
of the mayoral
I'm waiting
race.
for it.
We've all said he ran a campaign like none we've seen before. He's a
Dude, we're so ready.
34-year-old young man.
We're so ready for Trump right now.
It's
coming.
We're certainly he's going to do that in a few minutes.
It's coming. You know
We're
it's
gonna
coming.
Let the two of you tell us what you think and how the city moves forward.
Well,
you know,
I think now people will be watching. People will be looking to see who his hires are as commissioners, as deputy mayors. He's going to need people there who are aligned with him, but he's also going to need people who have experience in the bureaucracy and in the government.
And if he doesn't?
Well, if he doesn't, it's going to be harmful to the city. It's going to be harmful to him. There's no doubt, I think, no one questions his intellectual ability. He's a smart person. But the experience was raised as a campaign issue. So people will be looking to be reassured that there will be experienced hands, as well as people that the mayor may want to bring in who are not as experienced, but that's his prerogative. I also think that the transition will be carefully watched. We have Eric Adams
Got a haircut
until January 1st.
Got some panda.
An incoming mayor
Worked out today.
The outgoing mayor
Jim.
to be cooperative as power.
Praise God, everything good.
So I think
excited, happy.
Watching to see how that
God bless you all. What happened?
we are going to send you right over to Channel 7.
Okay. Channel 7. Sure. Bring it. Hello, Channel 7. There you go. He's coming. He's coming.
From Eyewitness News.
And we break into programming to give you an election result. ABC News is reporting that Zoran Mamdani is the winner. He will become the next mayor of New York City. This is a stunning political upset. The 34-year-old would become the first Muslim to lead New York City, the Democratic Socialists.
Huge news, and we are getting it before the 10 p.m. hour, so we want to remind you you're not going to miss any of Dancing with the Stars, but an historic night, the 34-year-old who captivated the city with social media videos and hammering home a message of it costs too much to live in the nation's biggest city will now lead that city and become the 111th mayor of New York. NJ Burkett at the headquarters in downtown Brooklyn at the Paramount Theater. And what a show that Mamdani has put on in this campaign. And a lot of analysts will be studying how he was able to galvanize enough support, as Sade said, to upset the political veteran Andrew Cuomo in this race.
Yeah, I mean, this is huge news, NJ. We could actually hear everybody screaming from your position.
Yeah.
A lot of excitement there tonight.
Yes. Yeah, no question about it. The Paramount has erupted here in downtown Brooklyn. As you said, a historic night in New York. Zoran Mamdani now projected to win City Hall.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Drop a like, subscribe. YouTube didn't send you an alert. I know.
And the youngest
YouTube
mayor
sucks.
of New York City in
But
more
whatever.
than a century. And it
Welcome, everybody. Happy to see you. Come on over.
Record turnout in New York. And think about this. This started out as an improbable campaign like over a year ago. And it went on in the last several months. months to become a juggernaut. He beat Andrew Cuomo, obviously an established political figure in New York for 40 years, beat him in the primary by 13 points. He beat him then. Cuomo got back into the race as an independent, and Mamdani never looked back. An aggressive campaign, a grassroots campaign that has clearly paid off for Mamdani. Mike?
I know there's going to be a lot of pressure once Mamdani is there in office to actually deliver on all of these promises. Free and fast buses, freezing the rent on more than 1 million rent-stabilized apartments, impacting more than 2 million people, free universal child care. What are the voters there saying tonight about that? Are they worried that he's not going to be able to get it all done?
I saw your text
In fact, what I'm
the
hearing
haircut.
from a number of political operatives, including elected officials who are here in support
hey,
of Mamdani,
you guys! You got me on the TV.
The legislators in Albany, lawmakers in Albany.
Today we had like 2 lives or 1 live that were awesome.
So
this one, it's the casual live. It's the Oscar is not wearing a shirt live, you know?
People who may
So,
feel as if Mamdani
got some
might not
panda.
be
We got some
able
awesome
to
friends here,
enact
almost
some
500
of
people.
his agenda
Got a lot more
because
earlier
of
today, but right now
obstacles in Albany and pushback
we're
in
talking about
Albany.
a socialist who just won mayorship at the biggest city in the whole U.S.
Well, I know one thing that he was looking for, NJ, was
And Donald J.
to see
Trump
if
happens
more than
to
50%
come
of people
from
were
the city
looking for a
of the
mandate
biggest city in the U.S. This gonna be the best 1v1. Obviously, we know Trump wins, but will he really? An 80-year-old versus a 30-something-year-old.
City council. And now
I'm excited.
You're going to have an executive, the mayor of New York, with a left-leaning city council. So he will presumably be able to do a lot of things that he wants to do on the municipal level.
Dude,
let alone
this is gonna get good.
Has to happen in Albany once he's in.
It will be fascinating to see him build his cabinet and see what happens as we move forward now into him taking over the mayorship here in New York. NJ, thank you. Let's go to the other side of the coin tonight because Andrew Cuomo, Lauren Glassberg is at the Cuomo headquarters tonight. And when you look at some of the exit polling, Lauren, and I know you talked about this earlier, more than half of the voters cited the cost of living as the #1 issue. And Zohran Mamdani said that every single time he was in front of a microphone, he said it on social media.
Looking fresh, Oscar. Yeah, appreciate that. Thank you, brother.
That he tried to drive home.
Yeah, of course.
And it worked tonight. How disappointing is the Cuomo campaign that he was not really able to hone his message, certainly early on in this election?
Yeah, I'm not sure Mike Cuomo ever figured out what his exact message was. Consider this. We're at the Ziegfeld Ballroom right now, and there is no sign of any enthusiasm, definitely no dancing, no celebrating, because the 3-time governor of New York State has been denied a chance to be the mayor of New York City. Andrew Cuomo was a huge face in the Democratic Party, and he lost in the primary to an upstart, an assemblyman who no one had ever heard of a year ago. And once he decided, Cuomo, to run as an independent in this race, he never really found his footing. And sure, we can look at that now with the numbers that we're seeing tonight. But even in the polls, in the final weeks, we saw he was trailing by double digits. What was his message? At times,
in the house.
It was that he had experience.
Welcome, brother.
Compared to Zohran
We are going to make Lincoln's great again. 100%. Thank you so much for the kind donation, bro. I appreciate that a lot. And welcome to the channel. Thank you, bro.
New York, and he was a true Democrat. So his message was never
I don't know about Notcoin, bro. I don't know about that one. I can take a look at that one in a little bit. But Meme will come back. It's just we got a devastating market right now.
Brunswick at Mikey Sherrill's camp. We are taking a look here at the latest numbers. ABC News projecting that Mikey Sherrill has won the New Jersey governor position at 56% to 43%, and 74% of the votes are in at this point. She's a former Navy helicopter pilot, a 4-term U.S. representative, a former prosecutor. She fought hard in this fight.
Yeah, 2 key races that people were watching across the country as we hear the loud applause there from the Sherrill campaign. You're going to hear all of this throughout the night here on Channel 7 and at ABC 7 NY. We're going to take a short break and we'll rejoin all of the coverage right after this.
Short break. Not a problem.
And welcome back. We continue our coverage. For those of you who are staying on streaming, welcome. Thank you for joining us. I'm Bill Ritter along with Sandra Bookman, and we have our beautiful guests here as well. And Jennifer, I want to come to you. Did we interrupt you in the middle of your talk? No. Okay, good. All right. So we'll get you in a second, and James, and we'll go to Jennifer. What's your take here? This happened so quickly.
I was not expecting it to happen so quickly. I mean, they started calling this race before, it seemed like it was before 9:30 or so. Of course, it's not ranked choice voting. It's not the presidential election. So we knew it was going to come in sooner. We knew we'd know tonight, but I didn't expect that we'd know so early. I think what it really reflects is just the excitement, the energy on the part of so many people, young people.
Guess what, everybody?
Can we just for a moment,
a lot of people want
give a
free stuff
to young people that they showed up.
Raise your hand if you want free stuff.
A sense of hope, and frankly,
who doesn't want free stuff
as well? I have an 86-year-old.
You know the reality of free
who went
stuff,
out and voted for Mamdani because
it's
he was
never really
representing
free.
something they hadn't seen in a while. He stood up to the bully. Right? He even saw Cuomo as a bully, and he stood up to him. And so I think we just need to live in that hope for a moment. It was hope versus fear. And I think hope won out tonight. A lot of the campaign that was run against Mamdani was a fear campaign. You know, what will this man do for the city in terms of our economy? What will it mean for certain people in the city? We saw a lot of Islamophobic rhetoric.
Yes, we did.
Right? And so it was a lot of fear. And I think he broke through that, and people said, enough of Trump and being afraid, and whatever that then trickles down to. So that's exciting. Now, one of the first things he's got to do is start putting this team together. And
You've done it
I've done it. I served as co-chair for Bill de Blasio during his first administration. He didn't need a transition in his second term, but in his first term, I was
watching
co-chair.
Fox.
And I remember going to meet with Patty Harris, who was then deputy mayor for Michael Bloomberg, and I said,
with Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi, Schumer, like we all know him, but Fox is gonna make a lot of money with Mamdani. Why? Because that's how you make money, talking bad or against or making headlines, bad news. So that's what make headlines, guys. Welcome to YouTube. Welcome to a little bit of clickbait, right? That's what gets people excited, and that's where advertisers come and pay to get that attention, right? So Fox News is about to make a lot more money. A lot more money. Because now you have the biggest, the most bullish president for the United States with a socialist in New York City. Every single day, there's going to be something happening, bro. Oh, baby.
Yet in history, what snow did to John Lindsay.
Yes. Heard it, Sal. Heard it. Yep.
Queens was buried in snow, and they never forgave the mayor.
It hurt your guy.
Oh, it hurt. Oh, don't call him my guy. I did the transition.
People want city services delivered. And as long as this campaign was, and as energetic and as strenuous, the real job starts now, because you have to govern. Governing is more difficult than campaigning.
It certainly is.
You have the realities that you have to face every day.
How do you bring in that which is going to help you deal with
this? So I think it first begins with, and it's something that I've
make
said
news
time and time again.
Out of nothing. Where have you been?
You know, I've actually said it to people
Love
on
that.
Mamdani's team. I've had the opportunity
brother,
to
welcome,
talk with
welcome.
Cuomo and with Mamdani, and I've said, you know, you're winning because you're a leader. And so you have to be very.
I know he didn't run against Trump.
Very thoughtful and appreciative of the fact that they're not hiring you if they're going to.
It's like AOC. It's Trump versus AOC. Like you need to find the leader of the Democratic Party. They don't have a leader right now. It's not Biden. It's not Harris. Who is the leader of the party?
John Lindsay said again.
Maybe not. Pelosi, she's too old. She's retiring. She's leaving. So they need young blood. And that young blood is Mamdani.
There are services that have to be delivered. There are people who are in need. There are communities that have different opinions. One thing that I would do if I were the mayor would be, and I hope he does this, I think he would, is that he has to reach out to neighborhoods and communities where he may not have had a lot of support. Let them know he's the mayor for everyone, and that we want to move on.
Right, but let's just say this. I mean, these electeds are about to see something they've never seen before. Mamdani doesn't back down. And so if they try to stand in the way of his, of his vision and his campaign promises, he knows how to work social media. He knows how to work like the streets. He's going to let people know they're blocking me. Trump is blocking me. If the state legislative body's blocking him, if the city council, he's going to be out there like we've never seen before.
Jennifer's right. When you deal with Albany or the city council, there's nothing like a popular mayor where you feel that when you go back to your district, you're going to hear it if you don't support the mayor on this issue or that issue that people are supportive of.
Let me say, I have to go and do another project for ABC News right now, just for a few minutes. We also have Rick Klein here, if Rick wants to come. I have to go right now. I will be back. Okay. I promise. I will be back.
These with you.
I will take these with me. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for joining us. So you don't see the transition, but you certainly hear it.
Do I get the Ritter seat?
All right,
this
so
is cool.
Yes,
this is cool.
We're happy to have you here.
This is the dream. Are you kidding me?
We are going to send it out to Mikey Sherrill's campaign headquarters, where they are celebrating tonight in New Jersey. She has been declared the winner in that race. Rick, is this what you anticipated that race would be? I should say,
yes.
Rick Klein is joining us now from ABC News. Did you expect for that race to be called as soon as it was? Going in, we thought it was, polls were showing it neck and neck.
This was the race I think Democrats were most worried about going into tonight. They thought that the Republicans, because Jack Ciattarelli.
And you wonder, why is the shutdown still going on? Who does it hurt the most? The party in power or the party who is trying to scrap a chance to be relevant and to get an edge? If the shutdown is going on right now, who do you blame? Trump. Now, Oscar, why are you blaming? No, it's not that I'm blaming Trump. Who is the average person in the United States blaming? Trump. So just think about that with all the ads and everything that's going on. They obviously are going to be like, you know what? Let's pick the Democrat.
But I know you, New Jersey, and I love you. I've fought for you. I've spoken with thousands of you over this last year. I know your struggles. I know your hopes. I know your dreams. So serving you is worth any tough fight I have to take on, and I am incredibly honored to be your next governor.
Pandita. Got the cookie.
When I was 18, I raised my hand, and I swore to defend the Constitution. And that moment defines me. It taught me that leadership means carrying the weight of other people's hopes, standing firm when it's easier to bend, and always putting the common good above personal gain. And I know how hard it can be to serve in these times. And I just got a call from Jack Ciattarelli, and I want to recognize him for stepping up. And all of you know, I love our history, and our state motto has always stuck with me. In 1777, New Jersey was one of the first states to choose a motto. Anybody? Liberty and prosperity. I'm going to get some more civics education going. We'll get that known by all. But it was a demand for freedom from oppression and a commitment to creating better opportunity and a better future. That idea has defined us for almost 250 years. We fought for liberty at the crossroads of the American Revolution, turning the tide for our young nation at the battles of Trenton and Princeton. We offered prosperity as we built the nation during the Industrial Revolution. We've been the cradle of scientific discovery, inventing everything from the light bulb to the laser. Liberty and prosperity. I've seen the genius in that motto over the last year, because both are essential in our democracy. And as the president is backing away from this ideal, cutting SNAP, ripping away health care, terminating Gateway, we here in New Jersey are bound to fight for a different future for our children. We see how clearly important liberty is. We know that no one in our great state is safe when our neighbors are targeted, ignoring the law and the Constitution. But prosperity is equally essential. Liberty alone is not enough if the government makes it impossible for you to feed your family, to get a good education, or to get a good job. So in this country, that shouldn't be too much to ask. But right now, all of it seems at risk. Governors have never mattered more. And in this state, I am determined to build prosperity for all of our citizens. And I've heard from thousands of you about what liberty and prosperity mean to you, what it's going to take for your family to thrive. So I hear you, Newark. I'm going to work with communities from the ground up so all of our neighbors thrive. I hear you, Sham, so I'm going to declare a state of emergency on day one to drive down your utility costs. I hear you, Westfield, so I'm going to make sure our kids are safe online and schools have the resources they need to address the mental health crisis. I hear you, Jersey City, so I'm going to hold government accountable, balancing individual liberty with collective responsibility, ensuring people are safe, healthy, educated, and free to pursue their dreams. I hear you, New Jersey. Good government doesn't just manage problems, it solves them. So I'm going to continue to listen and work with you to move our state forward, because I have learned so much as I've traveled our state. Our innovations, our businesses, our inventors and entrepreneurs have amazed me, but it's the people that have left the biggest mark, especially those who are fighting for prosperity for their entire communities. I was moved during my block walk in Trenton with Shanique as she spoke so passionately about the promise of her city and her neighbors despite the challenges. I love the group of young men from Monroe who've been hard at work on this campaign. They want a seat at the table, and they're ready to fight for their future. The little girls who come up to me to say that they're going to be a governor or they're going to be a president. It reminds me of my own belief that anything was possible. Akeem's team, who worked their butts off, knocked over 60,000 doors. Akeem told me these are not the kids who will succeed in Trump's vision of this country, but they will in mine.
You know, I've never been to New York.
The men and women in labor.
When is he taking office?
At a union jobs, at a time when our economy is set up to make it harder and harder for working people. You know what? They don't just fight for their brothers and sisters in labor. They fight for all of us.
When?
For working families
Don't go
everywhere,
now.
so everyone has a shot.
Don't go, if you
So
know what I
thank
say.
you. Thank you to each and every person here tonight and across the state who's worked hard over the last year. Thanks to the thousands of volunteers who made millions of calls, texts, and canvases. To everyone who's ready to stand and demand a better future for our kids and our families. To my running mate, Dr. Dale Caldwell. You've already served our state so well, and I'm proud to have you by my side as we embark upon this new chapter for New Jersey. To my team, who put together a campaign the likes of this state has has never seen and helped in our efforts to create a great future for New Jersey. And thanks to my family. Who put up with missed soccer games, lacrosse games, football games, volleyball games, swim meets, and rugby games, all to put up with this, so thank you. And a special thanks to my husband, Jason. Through 4 kids, 2 dogs, a hamster, numerous goldfish, 5 campaigns, an insurrection, and 2 impeachments, you have been a truly amazing partner. So thank you to everyone who's joined me in fighting for a better future. I know these are tough times. I know not everyone voted for me, but I'm working for everyone. Every single one of you.
First day of 2026.
When we all do better.
Okay.
We all do better.
Okay.
So tomorrow begins a new day. And at each new day in New Jersey, the sun rises over the Statue of Liberty. A daily reminder of her promise.
Inauguration day.
Give me your tired, your poor.
Yeah, first day of the
masses,
first day. Wow.
Yearning to breathe free.
Okay. Good to know. I didn't know. Okay. Now I know.
She declares that her lamp lights the path to the golden door. That golden door is New Jersey. It always has been. And that expectation is well deserved. Especially after this election, where we chose, we're going to follow Lady Liberty's beacon. We're not going to give in to our darker impulses. Here in New Jersey, we know that this nation has not ever been, nor will it ever be, ruled by kings. We take oaths to a constitution, not a king. We've chosen liberty, the very foundation of democracy, and we've chosen prosperity necessary to create opportunity for all. So New Jersey, to quote the boss, the future is now. Roll up your sleeves, let your passion flow. The country we carry in our hearts is waiting. Thank you, New Jersey.
Listening to New Jersey Governor-elect Mikey Sherrill taking her victory lap tonight, referencing.
All right, we're just waiting for Mamdani, and we call it a night. I do want to hear what the guy has to say. I mean, that's the big one. That's the big one, of course.
ABC's Washington bureau chief Rick
It's coming soon.
You're an expert in all things politics. This was a neck-and-neck race coming into the night. At least that's what a lot of polls did. It didn't look neck and neck when you look at those final numbers.
No, you're 100% right, and I think Mikey Sherrill will emerge as one of the bigger stars of this night. The idea that she's going to win as comfortably as she did, and I was looking at the maps earlier, and you can just see in all the places that Democrats needed to do well, she did very well. In all the places that Republicans need to do well, she cut into the margin significantly. And the fears that Democrats had coming into the night, noting that Jack Ciattarelli came within 3 points of beating the incumbent governor, Phil Murphy, last time around, and the way that Donald Trump came much closer than any Republican in recent history to winning the state. Was there going to be further
come on, I'm waiting for you, Trump.
Mikey Sherrill was able to answer that with a resounding,
Here it
victory tonight. And she will be someone who is looked to on the national stage, along with Abigail Spanberger, now the governor-elect in Virginia.
Tell me
both
this
were elected
guy.
at the same time in 2018. They've got a long, close relationship with each other.
Trump,
and both of them, I think,
never cease to
leaders of the party
amaze
from a
me.
much different wing than Zoran Mamdani. These are two moderates.
Trump wasn't on the ballot and shut down were the two reasons that Republicans lost election tonight. Trump wasn't on the ballot, according to pollsters. Man.
Might expect to see, or might influence what we see in the midterms. Now we've got Zoran Mamdani in the mix as winning the New York.
So you guys remember what I said earlier today? That is the reason why they didn't open the government. That is the reason why they said people are not eating. Traffic controllers, right, are not getting paid. TSA and other personnel is not getting paid. Who cares? Let's make sure we win. And they did it. They played it right. They played it right for their benefit. They won. And now, let them open the government. Because magically, they had a nice chat, a nice Instagram DM,
sort of
and everything's back
over
open.
The last year, but they woke up on the Democratic side tonight, and they're having a very
politics,
big night, motivated
guys.
by what they've seen
Bunch
from
of
Donald
politics.
Trump, and motivated
Bunch
by
of
the
politics,
focus that so
bro.
many of these candidates
The way
had
it
on
is.
just basic cost of living issues.
Yeah, and we've got other guests sitting here with us tonight. In addition to Rick Klein, we've been talking to James Vaca, former New York City councilman, and
That is
Jennifer
why the
Jones
government was
Austin.
shut down, bro.
Jennifer,
14 times they
we
voted.
talked a little bit before Rick came in about the
35,
job that
30-something
Mamdani
days
has
closed.
In front of him. He's got a,
But
gonna
magically,
have to build a coalition.
all of a
People
sudden,
who never maybe worked
open. That's
with
it.
someone as young as
Oh,
Zoran
man.
Mamdani.
That really hurts.
How does that happen? So I think we have to first appreciate that this young man has run a very effective campaign. He's demonstrated that he actually knows how to lead and
God's truth in the house. Faith Jesus.
A little more anxious.
What's up, buddy? Good to see you. It's been a while.
We didn't see any big, slip-ups. No big, like
Trump did the same thing.
Catastrophes. Or
I'm not saying Trump is not doing it, of course. I mean, they just play it. I mean, politicians, they play it.
Smart. He appears to be
Politicians have to play it.
And so, while we
sad,
don't
a little
know
bit, it's sad.
who he's going to put in the deputy mayor roles at this particular point, I'm sure that he's got a pretty good sense already. I remember when serving as co-chair for Bill de Blasio, we knew in the days leading up who was going to sit in those key seats. The director of the Office of Management and Budget, the deputy mayors for housing and urban and economic development and the like. We had a pretty good sense. So I imagine he doesn't want to fail.
No.
He just needs to get the right people who believe in his vision and will help him manage to it.
He's going to have to watch how city agencies operate, how they're managed. He's going to want to improve upon where we are today, not see a decline in where we are today. I'm watching the numbers. He's nearing 50%. He seems to be at 50%. Well, if he's below 50%, they will say he does not have a mandate. If he makes 50, 51%, then you cannot say that Curtis Sliwa was a spoiler. So even the numbers coming in will be the object of much discussion. But he is going to be the mayor. So he's got to start in that mode of, how do I get to where I want to go? And how do I get people running these agencies? Deputy mayors and commissioners.
So, like I was saying, I've never been to New York. I want to go. I want to see it. Come on, it's New York, right?
But he will be able to say that he did something that has not yet been done. He brought the young people out. And the young
I just saw it
people
coming
are the
right there.
future of the
There's a lot of people that
And so
want
they
to move
can't
to
take that.
Florida,
I'm
right?
gonna have to
I saw that a bunch on Fox News.
Thank you guys
People
for sitting
thinking
down
about
with us
leaving
tonight.
New
James
York.
Vaca, Jennifer
I don't know how
Jones,
big
Rick
is this going to
Klein.
impact.
You're not going anywhere.
As
We're
far as the
gonna see
time,
on
like
the
if it's going to start
WABC
happening right
TV,
now
Channel
or
7,
until
where
he
we will
becomes
continue
mayor,
our
but
election night coverage.
we'll just have to see.
Absolutely, Sade.
About being unstoppable, NJ. I mean, think about all the money that was poured into this race. We know former Mayor Bloomberg poured I think $8.3 million into this race. He then gave an additional $1.5
They will
million
say,
last week. We had
government
other
is open
billionaires
again.
that
We
put money
won.
in. The
Supporting
Lauder
Cuomo.
family,
Thanks to Mamdani.
supporting Cuomo. The Lauder family, $2.6 million. Bill Ackman, he had a few million as well. There were so many forces at play here to try to stop Mamdani, but it just didn't happen. This was his night.
Right. It really was an improbable, quixotic campaign from the very beginning. But I do want to make a point, Sade, about the business community, because it's really not fair to paint the city's business community with one brush. As you know, it's not a monolith. And there are several people, high-ranking people in the city's business community who told me that they thought that Mamdani's affordability agenda could actually help business in New York. How? By retaining retaining workers and by attracting workers.
Are we pumping or dumping? We're not dying here in price, so let's go ahead and keep pumping. Let's go.
To come to New York, and then of course to keep those workers once they're here. So that's a very important point to keep in mind. And I spoke also to several elected leaders and lawmakers from Albany tonight who were saying to me, don't necessarily assume that Mamdani's tax proposals will be dead on arrival in Albany. They're watching, they're paying attention, they're listening, not the least of whom is Governor Kathy Hochul, who's up for re-election next year.
Right.
Mike?
And speaking of Governor Hochul, she already said that she doesn't want to raise taxes. He wants to raise taxes, the corporate taxes from
Not in the house, dropping some truth bombs.
To do a 2% flat
Oh,
tax
brother, how you
for
doing?
anyone making over $1 million.
Thank you so much.
But Hochul says that she doesn't want to raise those
Florida has
taxes.
zero state
how
tax,
is he going
capital
to do
tax,
this? How is he going to get his
gains,
agenda
and
across?
American crypto will have zero federal gains tax. So,
though, he had the
I guess go to Florida,
of
huh?
the State Assembly,
Or just come
and
to
they had the
Texas.
majority leader
Texas
of
in the
state
house.
Senate, and then the governor who campaigned with him. Yes, she said several times that
Thanks,
Mamdani
brother.
and I
Appreciate
have
it.
some differences, but remember, this election is sending a message
100% tariff on New York.
Does that mean she's necessarily going to raise taxes?
I don't know
in
what
the
Trump
ways
is
that
going to
he wants those
do.
taxes to be
Tomorrow is
raised?
going to
No,
be
it doesn't
so exciting to
necessarily say
see
that.
and watch.
But
Here it
what
is.
does say is that
The
door
60-minute
is
interview of
conceivably
Donald J.
open
Trump on
to
CBS Sunday
precisely
night
that,
was the
Shaka.
highest rated 60
NJ,
minutes
I'm curious.
in
We
years.
talk about the politics. Now let's talk about the person, because here's a guy who seemingly came out of nowhere. You mentioned he just turned 34, born in Uganda, raised in
34.
Cape Town.
Wow, he's so
moved
young.
to New York City when he was 7, and then attended the Bronx High School of Science, and he was off and running, spending 3 terms in the assembly. But it's interesting to think about all those people who had criticisms for his policies, but the historic nature of his rise to this moment to become the 111th mayor of the biggest city in this country.
Wait. He said, defund the police and build a socialist New York. He said, defund the police. Defund the police. Defund the police. Defund the police. Oh my. He's one of those, huh? Defund the NYPD? Defund? I'm no mayor, but I know what that means. Dude. Oh no, I'm not going, bro. I gotta feel safe, man.
What can he do on the municipal level? Well, he's got
Dude, I'm from Mexico, as most of you know. Mexico is not run by Claudia Sheinbaum. You know, fam. I know 100% the way my country is run. It's my country. I'm from there. Like, I mean, you need law and order, fam. Law and order. Not to defund. If not, bad things happen. We got the cartels. That's next level. That's next level. So you need, guys.
Brooklyn sort of corridor, the Fort Greene, and then you have the Park Slopes and Cobble Hill. And I was talking to a woman today who said that she voted for Mamdani, and I said, well, what is it about him? And she said, it's the energy. He was able to capture the energy. I said, have you seen anything like this? And she said, Obama. And so it's interesting that NJ just mentioned.
I can't vote yet.
You get the same sort of surge.
It's a long process. I won't explain because I don't have to.
The record number of votes.
But,
it's really stunning how many people have come out to cast their vote on this.
Still,
let's go out to Lauren Glassberg.
Process of
right
becoming
now,
a U.S. citizen is long, brother.
Really
I want to be one, of course. I paid my dues. Over a decade paying taxes. I mean, I bring a lot to the conversation and to this country.
Cuomo used the old playbook in this, and he admitted this week that he underestimated Mamdani. Sad night for him, for sure.
Yeah, and we have not heard from the candidate yet, Sade, but Andrew Cuomo underestimated Zoran Mamdani as far back as the
Cuomo
primary, which we know he fared very poorly in. And it really didn't serve as the wake-up call it probably should have for his campaign staff and for the candidate. He went into this race as an independent, despite being a very prominent Democrat for so many years, and he never really found his
Why is the
footing,
world getting worse and worse? And now we have a
he was going up
major.
against Zoran Mamdani, who may have been a relative
And we just have a
newcomer
pump.
to the world of politics and a virtual
That's all we want,
unknown,
right? A
at
pump.
least for most people in New York City. But what Zoran Mamdani
I live
was
in Las
able
Vegas,
to
so
do
I'm
was
good.
captivate the voters
I
with
know,
a
right?
very strong message of making the city more affordable, which of course NJ talked about. Cuomo's message was a little bit all over the map. Initially, it was talking about making the city safer and adding new police officers. Then he also talked about affordability, latching on to Zoran Mamdani's #1 priority and talking about building more affordable apartments and housing. Then he also talked about socialism and how that would be bad for New York City. And he talked about how he was the only one with experience. So the message was varied and it depended on where he was in the campaign. But what he never got was traction.
Fox News decision desk can now project New York City has elected Democrat Assemblyman Zoran Mamdani to be its next mayor. Now, he will become the first Muslim mayor of the city and its youngest in more than a century. Not really a surprise. I don't know why people were waking up in the last, 2.5 weeks. I think they should have woke up after the primary where he handily defeated Andrew Cuomo. But back to your analysis, because I think this is very key. I thought that Andrew ran a very lackluster campaign. I think taking 10 days off after Labor Day is unthinkable if you're a candidate. I think he spent way too much time out in the Hamptons, and he didn't have a message that resonated, and he still had a hangover of hatred for the time he was governor. That all worked against him.
I think there'll also be this debate if he had another week or 2 weeks, would that have been enough to close the gap? And I'm not sure, based on the numbers we're seeing right now.
Not heard from the candidate yet, and I can tell you the mood here is not great. One man was holding a sign that said Curtis Sliwa, the spoiler.
Lauren Glassberg, thank you. Of course, we'll be checking in throughout the night. But Shada, last time we saw Cuomo at
Guys, why are they so mad at us? And why don't you come down and tell the family about the It hurts. It hurts.
Win for Mamdani. Let's talk about that. And we just heard from Lauren Glassberg really talking about the playbook. Cuomo using that old playbook, whereas Mamdani, he leaned into new structures, getting the youth involved and raising, talking about affordability.
This is a political earthquake. It's wild to think about his rise from a virtual unknown, single digits in the polls at the beginning of this. Right. He talks about running in the marathon last year. No one knew who he was. Right now, he can't go on any city block in New York City without being absolutely mobbed. And he has changed the way you campaign. Now the question is, does he change the way you govern? This is going to be a mayoral election.
Oftentimes, we've even found as legislators, when we go into these courts, the term violent crime is even used when people are stealing packages. Violent crime is even used when people are accused of burglary and there happens to be a housing unit in that same dwelling. So violence is an artificial construction. And we have to be very clear that what is happening here with these district attorneys, that is violence. That is violence of the highest degree. Oftentimes, we've even found as legislators, when we go into these courts, the term violent crime is even used.
Oh boy.
Joining me now from the free state of Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis, my governor. Okay, I'm literally in tears. I'm having a hard time keeping a straight face, only for this reason. I have really funny friends, and my funny friends are sending me, one is a meme of the Statue of Liberty, sitting down, smoking a cigarette. F it, I'm going to move to Florida. The other one has a picture of Mamdani, and it says, Realtor of the Year in the state of Florida. It's cracking me up.
Well, first, Sean, I'm glad you cleared up that you're not going to Ireland. Because if it was a trade where Florida had to give up Hannity in exchange for Rosie O'Donnell, I would veto that trade on behalf of this free state of Florida. Don't you worry about that. Listen,
I'm grateful I have a good governor.
There you go. This is a guy, Mamdani. He wants to take down the Columbus statue. I've already said if they take that from Manhattan, we'll take it in Florida. Hey, if they want to put the Statue of Liberty in Lake Okeechobee, we'll get that done as well. But I think he's going to win, and I think it's an incredible act of ballistic podiatry, shooting yourself in the foot by New York City voters. I mean, this is a guy who does embrace Marxist economics. He claims he's going to lower everyone's costs by having the government run grocery stores, and the only people that would think that would work are people who have never studied a lick of history. He's also somebody that after 9/11, he said how bad it was that his aunt was on a subway and got dirty looks. He never expressed the sympathy in that regard that for all the people that got murdered. He's also embraced George Soros style soft on crime policies. He hates the NYPD, if you look at his history. He is not going to stand up for law enforcement. And what I found on all this, Sean, is yes, his tax policy is going to be crazy, anti-business, all that. But the number one thing that moves people to want to flee these jurisdictions is the collapse of public safety. And I think he's going to make the de Blasio reign look like the golden age.
You know, I'm talking about a math problem in New York City, New York State. And, you know, for example, in the last 3 years, nearly 250,000 people left the state of New Jersey. That is a math problem. And I mean this sincerely. I wanted Mamdani to lose for my friends that remain in New York. I wanted Chitterelli to win. I don't know if you know this, but I went up and I did a town hall. Polls showed that he had a shot. I wanted to give him an opportunity to make his case. But math does not lie. Losing 250,000 residents in the last 3 years from his last election, that is an overwhelming number. Can you explain to the country exactly how profound mass migration has been out of states like New York and New Jersey and Illinois and even California, and what a positive impact it's having on states like Florida, Texas, the Carolinas, Tennessee?
Well, first of all, Jack would have won 4 years ago, and he would have won tonight if you just take all the Republicans who've left New Jersey since I've been governor and moved to Florida. If they could have still voted in New Jersey, he would have won both of those races. Same thing with New York City. Maybe not a Republican, but, you know, Giuliani would not be able to win with this electorate the way it is now. Because what happens, Sean, is a leftist politician gets in, whether it's destroying a state like California, Illinois, New York, whether it's a city like New York City or Chicago. And the people that it tends to drive off are the center-right voters. And so when they leave, the resulting electorate is actually more liberal. That's how you go from Lori Lightfoot to Brandon Johnson in Chicago, which is digging the hole deeper. That's why you've gone from 8 years of de Blasio, now leapfrogging here 4, to have Mamdani, who's even going to be worse. And what we found in Florida is, first of all, we're not asking for anyone to move. I mean, people have talked about putting a tariff on people moving in at this point because so many have done so. And I know a lot of people in Florida would think that that would be necessary. But here's just the truth. You look at all 49 other states since I've been governor and look at who's migrated to Florida. All 49 more Republicans have moved to Florida than Democrats. Vermont, New York, Illinois, you name it. And the result of that is not just migration, because we've had a lot of people shift within Florida. But when I got elected, we had 300,000 more registered Democrats in Florida. Today, we have 1.4 million more Republicans. Nobody has ever seen a change that profound.
Well, Wall Street South is real. Every investment firm, every big bank, every private equity firm, they are all down in Florida. Anyway, Governor DeSantis, thank you.
Guys, I've never been to New York, but for those who are watching right now, just, you know, and you've been there, or maybe you live in New York, or you live in, New York City, like you know exactly the way it feels and the pulse of this election. I mean, if you live in New York City, you might be liberal, which is okay, right? You might be Democrat, which is okay. Like, I'm sure that you're happy for this, which is fine. But I wonder if this is just like people are just making a big deal of it, but it's not going to change anything. That could be one. Like, okay, Oscar, yeah, it's just headlines, but everything's going to stay the same? Or are you predicting that this is just the catalyst that is going to end the growth and the #1 city for New York could be? Like change is coming to New York, to New York, or everything's going to be the same, but people are just exaggerating this. Now, I'll suggest you take a look at the comments because that's real. Those are real people. Those are not bots. That's why I'm showing the comments right here.
You bring that up because, I mean, Mamdani is going to be in charge of a budget bigger than most countries, or a lot of countries, I should say.
$115 billion budget.
And something that he admittedly has never done before. And that was one of the criticisms on the trail. You mentioned President Trump because it's an interesting aspect to the New Jersey governor's race.
You live in Manhattan, people with good jobs and newborns are leaving record high to Westchester.
To actually rally with Jack Ciattarelli in person. How much did the Trump
people are moving in a way based on all of this?
Well, look, if Ciattarelli loses by as much as it seems like he will not have done as well, even
Everyone
as
is
Donald
okay.
Trump did
Democrats.
in the state, and he doesn't come close to as well as he did 4 years ago when he had a much more independent
New York
profile.
City is going to be GTA.
To hitch his wagon to Donald Trump. And if you're a Republican, maybe there's no other way to do it. But Republicans who voted for Trump did not show up for him tonight. They showed up either for Cheryl or they sat it out. And there's going to be a lot of soul searching about that strategic decision. Ciattarelli, of course, started as a never Trumper a long time ago in ancient history now, but he tied his fortunes to Trump. And I was struck by how little Trump did for
Thought
him,
it was going to come
really for any of the candidates that were out.
much earlier for Mamdani, but he's taking a little bit longer.
He was
I'm already a little bit tired. I just wanted to come and say hi and possibly, get a response because when I came live,
not anything from Donald Trump in the last couple of
the
days.
election
So maybe Donald
decision
Trump
was
realizes, as he's already said tonight, look, I was on the ballot,
out.
and that's different. But Republicans have to realize Donald Trump's
it might
not
take
going to be on the
another
ballot again
hour or
in
so.
the midterms next year or in the
Which
next
is okay.
presidential. And this will set in the new phase of the Trump presidency as well. And we'll see how he.
Well, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and rest. I need it, but I just kind of wanted to jump in and say hi to some of you. And obviously not my entire community is down for politics at night. I get it, but it comes to show that some of you are down for it. And I love you guys. Always thank you for that. The end of the day, I think it's going to be okay. Obviously, if you know what's best for you and your family. If you're at my age, in the 30s, so obviously you have to make big decisions, and the U.S. is a big country, so you can always take a big step and move, right? If you don't want what's coming for New York City. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's one of the big things that the reason why I still live in Texas, because I love it. It's great. Texas, as of now, is very conservative, very Republican. I think it's going to stay like that for a while. You see that? So we should be fine, guys. And pump it up. And this is, I believe, Cuomo, if I'm not mistaken, or somebody else. But they're going to continue, and maybe later they'll have Mamdani when I'm already in bed. Thank you for watching. Appreciate today. It was huge, was big, and I just wanted to keep you in the know, okay? I'll see you tomorrow, guys. God willing. You take care. God's Truth, Dangerous Dave, and all my admins. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you on Discord. I'll see you on Telegram. I'll see you on Patreon. You take care. Peace.